Hello guys, my name is TimGot and I'm here today with an 8.10 preview or review, and we'll be showing off some new features that you will get in the 8.10 when it goes live. As the first thing, you will get a new line, a new Japanese line. It's a medium line, and personally I think this line is going to be effective. Like, it's your 8. This tank has a massive DPM. I really did like this tank. I played this tank a couple of times and I really did enjoy this tank. The tier 7 has a drum actually. This gun has actually a drum. It has 3 shells in the magazine, 1 time between the shots, and it's normal. The penetration is not that good for a tier 7, and the damage is also normal. The accuracy is pretty good. It's not that bad. And also one thing I don't get, I think they will remove this. You get a gun rammer. You get a gun rammer on an autoloader. So I don't really get that, why you can put that on, but maybe that's a mistake or something. We'll see if it gets in the next test server it gets removed. So yeah, let me just show you guys like the stuff that you will get, and then I will go more into details. So yeah, like I told you guys, a new complete line, Japanese. Then you get also two extra tanks. Another freaking line for medium tanks. As you can see, an object for 302 and an object 430. I played the tanks a couple of times. They're not that special. Like, especially the tier 10. That tank is not special at all. That tank is just completely normal. It feels like Object 140 or like a T62A. It's, yeah, I don't think it's that like big something that will come on the live server. But they also have added some stuff like let me show you guys. Motion blur. They actually added motion blur. And as you can see, when I move around in the garage, it moves like way better. You can see that with motion blur. It's, I don't know. Like, the motion blur was the first thing I noticed when I went into the tester. I moved around in my garage, I was like, did they add motion blur? I went into my settings and yes, they did. And they also have added some other stuff, as you can see. They have added, how do you call it? There you go, color filter. You can actually change the colors in your garage. As you can see, let me just apply that, and like everything goes into a different color. This is not sure why they did this. This is a bit weird. Personally, I don't really dislike it, but I don't. It's a cool little thing. It's a cool little thing to make your game a bit differently for maybe like reviews or something else. But I always stick to the same thing. I just don't have color it's for me just off, or contrast. You can have as many stuff as you can. It's a lot. Soft colors, there you go, a bit softer. Yeah, with that motion blur, it's I don't know if you guys are seeing the motion blur, but I am really seeing the motion blur. The motion blur is amazing. I really like the motion blur. It makes like the game perfect for me. And not sure what you guys think about it, but I really like the motion blur. And then, yeah, that's pretty much what they have added to the 8.10. But let me go like more into details, and also this one, deep. But yeah, let's just put that off so it's easier. So yeah, let's go more into details. So the first tank you will get it's a Renault. And actually already the third Renault in game. You have a Renault tier 1 that is on the French, as you can see, Renault. Then you have also a Renault or lookalike. No, actually, yeah, it's a Renault. Not sure why there are so many Renaults at tier 1, but for me, I don't really care, because I'm probably going to do one game in that tier 1, and I have already my tier 2, so yeah, I don't really care that much about it. But yeah, you can actually choose where you can go for the first from tier 2 to tier 4. You can actually choose which line you want. And it's like, this is just the light line, and this is the medium line. And I personally will probably go for the medium line because I like mediums. I don't really like light tanks that much. So yeah, this is the light line, as you can see, and this is the medium line. And yeah, let me just show the guns. Like the tier 1, I'm not going to speak much about it. It's a tier 1. You will probably do like 1 or 2 games with it, and you're going to sell it. You're not like going to keep it and worship it. It's not going to happen. I already know this. So it's a pretty normal gun, not that good at penetration, but for like 2 games, it's more than enough. I'm not going to speak a lot about it. I just go to the tier 2. So the first is it's a light tank. This tank weighs 8 tons. It has an engine power of 135, a speed limit of 40, and a traverse speed of 44. So, power to weight ratio is normal. It's not that good. It's not that bad. So it's pretty normal. It has no armor, but it's a light tank. The gun. Let's take a look at the gun. The gun looks garbage. It really looks garbage. 29 penetration. That is pretty bad. But very good damage, and accuracy is shit, as you can see, but good rate of fire. So that is good. And yeah, I'm not going to speak much about it from tier 1 to tier 5, because you guys are not going to play forever on them. You're probably going to play like 5. On the tier 2, I'm probably going to play like 3 games and I'm going to sell it. Same for the tier 3, I'm going to play like 10 games, I'm going to sell it. Tier 4, I'm gonna play like 15 games, gonna sell it. I'm not going to be long on this tanks. This tank looks actually like a T2 light tank. And if you have no idea what a T2 light tank is, a T2 light tank is actually this tank right here. It looks a bit like the T2 light tank, but not really that much. Let's just go back. And yeah, this tank gets pretty good gun, not gonna lie. This gun is very good actually. Good accuracy, the aiming time is good, penetration is good, damage is normal, rate of fire is pretty good. The gun, it's probably gonna be good on this tank. I'm not going to go for this kind of line. I will be doing the medium line, of course. But if you are going to do the different line, then I think you'll like this tank. Didn't really play with this tank because I sat in the queue for like 15 minutes and I didn't get a game. So I'm not really able to tell you how the tank will perform in game. So yeah, sorry about that. So this tank has 240 hit points. It has an engine power of 150, speed limit of 50, and a traverse speed of 48. That's a very good traverse speed, 48. So it will turn around very quickly. No armor, normal turret armor in the front, but people will just shoot you in the whole armor. And a normal turret traverse speed and 310 view range. Not only special, it's a tier 3. You're not going to waste much time on that. So the next tank. Oh yeah, the names. God damn it. So yeah, this is a type 95. Ha-ho. I'm just gonna say types because that's easier. I'm not gonna freaking say Kine, Kiho, Shini. It's so weird. Yeah, it's so weird. So the type 98 Kini and type 5 Kiho. This tank is nothing special, it's just a tier 4. It has 340 hit points, engine power of 150, it weighs 10 tons, speed limit of 50, and its traverse speed of 60. That is crazy traverse speed. Not gonna lie, that is really crazy traverse speed. And hull armor, it has no armor. Light tank. No armor at all. Let's take a look at the gun. The gun is pretty good. 87 penetration, rate of fire is 25. Yeah, the gun is pretty good. Yeah, the gun is very good. I think you will like this gun on this tank if you like light tanks on tier 4. Because this tank looks pretty good to me. I don't think you can use this tank as aggressive tank. I think you need to use this tank more as how to say the support tank. And yeah, I think you will use it like that pretty much. So yeah, the next tank. So this is the second line. This is the medium line. As you can see, this is the medium line. And I will be probably doing this because they get better guns, and yeah, I like that more. Actually, if I'm correct, let me just check if I was right about that. Yeah, they get like better damage, and I like more damage. So yeah, the tier 2 Chini medium tank. It has 190 hit points. It weighs 10 tons. It has an engine power of 135 and a speed limit of 30, and a reverse speed of 38. So I've noticed that the Japanese tanks really have good reverse speed. It's not always that good, but on the most tanks you have very good reverse speed, as you can see. 52 on this one. It's pretty crazy, not gonna lie. I really like the reverse speed. So yeah, the gun, it's nothing special. Normal gun at the tier 2. Pretty bad penetration actually, very bad accuracy. And rate of fire is pretty good, damage is pretty good. So yeah, tier 2 you will not waste much time on this tank. So yeah, now you get the tier 3. A type 97 Shisha. This tank has 240 hit points. It weighs 16 tons. And it has an engine power of 240, speed limit of 40, and its reverse speed of 32. No hull armor, no turret armor. You're not gonna waste much time on this low tanks, but I do want to show them off at least. So yeah, the tier 3 gets a very good gun actually. 81 penetration, 70 damage, very bad accuracy, good rate of fire, and aiming time is pretty normal. So I will probably like this tank. I will probably use this tank as support, and this is like going to be for pretty much this whole line. You need to use this tank as a support. You need to play like the medium tactics. You need to use the medium tank tactics. Don't be aggressive with this kind of tanks. These tanks are made for being support. Play these tanks as mediums. Play them as mediums as you need to play them, and it will work very good because the tanks are very good. I'm not gonna lie. From the tier 7 until the tier 10, they are awesome. Tier 6 is also pretty good. Tier 5 is also pretty good, but I didn't waste much time on them. So yeah, now you get the type 1 Shisha. It's a tier 4 medium tank. It has 350 hit points. It weighs 17 tons. It has an engine power of 240 and a speed limit of 44 and 36 reverse speed. So the specific power is pretty bad on this tank. It's not that good, but you can do the DPM on this tank is pretty good. Not gonna lie, the DPM is pretty good. And if you are 70 penetration for tier 4 is more than enough. But if you get into a tier 6 game, where you can meet K1Ss, M6s, Churchill 7s, then golds is also an option. But I just hope that you don't get into that kind of games, because the guns are not like, you can actually maybe use this gun over that gun, but I actually like more the damage. But you can actually use this gun, and this gun will perform better. But I just like the damage. That's the thing for me. I just like the damage. That's all. And yeah, it has 50 in the front, 50 hull armor in the front, 25 in the side, 20 in the back. For the turret armor, you have 50 in the front, 35 in the side, and 25 in the back. So the tanks are nothing special. These tanks are pretty much like this whole line is pretty much supports and stuff like that. They're nothing that special, but they are good. I'm not gonna lie. They have good gun impression. They have good guns. Their speed is pretty good. Their acceleration is normal. And yeah, overall, I'm really liking Japanese tanks. I'm actually really looking forward to them. So the tier 5, the type 3 Chinu. This tank has 480 hit points. It weighs almost 20 tons. It has an engine power of 300, a speed limit of 38.8, reverse speed of 34. It has 50 millimeters of hull armor in the front, 25 in the side, and 20 in the back. Then the turret armor, it has 50 in the front, 35 in the side, and 25 in the back. And let's take a look at the gun. The gun is actually pretty good for a tier 5, not gonna lie. Good rate of fire, good penetration, and very good damage. Accuracy is not that great. It's a bit how to say this? It's still good accuracy. Don't get me wrong, but it's not that good. Hellcat has an accuracy of 0.36, and this has accuracy of 0.37. So supporting second line, staying behind tanks, like heavy tanks, let the heavy tanks go forwards, just stay behind them, try to support them, and it will work perfectly, this tank, I'm sure about that. I don't think you can use this tank as a sniper, but you can always try. The accuracy is not that bad, it's not that bad, not bad at all. So let's go to the tier 6. So, the tier 6, Type 4 Shito. This tank has 820 hit points. It weighs 33 tons, and that's a lot actually, not gonna lie. 33 tons. It has an engine power of 400, a speed limit of 45, and 30 traverse speed. 75 hull armor in the front, 35 in the side, and 35 in the back. 75 and 30 armor in the front, 50 in the side, 50 in the back. And yeah, I also wanted to say this. Japanese tanks don't have a lot of armor. I think the Japanese tanks are really made for... they have actually very good gun impression, Japanese tanks, and they have pretty decent guns. And I think Japanese line is very good for me, because I actually do prefer gun impression a lot. I really love gun impression. And like from the tier 8 you'll get mobility and speed, and then you have also a good gun. So the tanks will be good from the tier 8. From it, actually tier 7 is also very good. The tier 7 has an autoloader, and I think, yeah, gun impression, stuff like that, it's very good on the tanks. The gun impression is awesome, and I love that. But they don't really have a lot of armor, but they do have mobility and speed. So they're pretty much as the Leopard's line, Leopard's line, from a German line, as you can see here. One second. I think it's pretty much as this line. They have no armor but mobility and a good gun. Actually, a very good gun. This thing has a laser sight. Look at that accuracy. It's crazy. I played with this tank a couple of times, and wow, this tank is awesome. I really wanted that tank. That tank is just awesome. The gun just makes the tank. The gun is just too great. If you aim at something, it will hit it. No doubts about that. It will hit it every time. So yeah, I think this line's pretty much as that line, but a bit differently, and that's all. Not. I want to see how the heavy tanks are going to be for the Japanese line. I want to see that, because the medium line is pretty good actually. Not gonna lie, the medium line, I'm really liking the medium line from the tier 7 to the tier 10. I played them all and they were amazing, really amazing. I really love them. But I want to see how the heavy tanks are going to be. Will they have also gun impression and a good gun and no armor? Because I hope they will have some armor and good gun impression and also a normal gun. That would be awesome. That will make the tank perfect, for me at least. But yeah, let's go back to the tanks, because I keep on talking about stuff that you do not need to hear. So this tank gets a tier 6 gun. It's a 7.5 centimeter gun. This tank is this gun is very good actually. This is the same gun as you get on the. As you can see, it's pretty much the same. Only thing it's differently is that it has autoloading system. So it has a drum. It can do. It has 3 shells. But the tier 6 doesn't have that. But it gets a normal gun. It has a rate of fire of 15 rounds, almost 16 rounds per minute, 155 penetration, and 130 damage. And Hellcat accuracy 0.36. That's very good. That's not that great. That's not Löwe accuracy. That's not Leopard's accuracy, but it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. And the aiming time is 2 seconds, so that is good. So let's go to the tier 7 now. The tier 7 is actually very big. Let me just give you one of my very big tanks. if I can find one at least. So, a tier 7. What is big in here? Let's grab a T-34. Yeah, it's big. It's crazy big, the tier 7. Look at that. Look at that, it's a medium tank, god damn it. It's crazy, it's big as hell. It's boxy, it's, I don't know. The tier 8 gets smaller, of course, look at that. And tier 8 is a lot smaller, but the tier 7, oh my god, it's like a box tank, and you can penetrate everywhere at tier 7. So I'm not sure how this tank is gonna be in games, but if you use this tank as a support tank, it's actually very good. If you use this tank as a support tank, it works perfectly with that gun. The gun is amazing, and it's just one thing that I don't like. It's that big. It's super big. I really dislike that. As you can see, look at that. It's bigger than a freaking AMX-48. It's crazy. This tank is, yeah, it's just, I think it's just too big. That's the mainly reason I don't really like this tank that much. It's just too big. It has no armor. Everybody can pen it. It's big as hell. It's like a FCM 50 tons. I just like that tank because it's big as hell. Everybody can just shoot at it and pen it every time because it's a French tank. It has no armor. And yeah, this is the same thing for this tank. Not sure if I'm going to like it, but I will play on this tank for sure. I liked it on the test server, especially on city maps where you can just come around, do 3 shots and go back. I like that. I like that very much about this tank, but I want to see how this tank will perform on the live server. We'll see about that, because on the test server it's pretty much 10 series against 10 series, and yeah, you will not see that on the live server. That's why I don't, how to say this, I don't really make a real, I'm not sure how to say this, like, I can say how good the tank is, but I will never say if it's going to be good on the test server, on the live server, because on the live server people use different tanks. They don't only use cherries. So I'm not sure how this tank will perform against C-29s, Tigers, Black Princes and stuff like that. We'll see. We'll see. I hope it will perform the same as it does on the test server, because on the test server this tank is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Against tier 8s this tank is awesome. Against tier 9s, because the penetration is pretty bad. Look at that, 155. But you can spam gold as a lot of people do on the test server. It's crazy how much gold spammers you get. I really like, when I go to the test server, I actually do want to test my tank out, but I just get gold spammers everywhere. It's not really that fun. But yeah, this tank has 1,250 hit points. That's a lot. That really is a lot. It weighs 42 tons. It does weigh a lot. It has an engine power of 550, a speed limit of 42, and its reverse speed of 34. It has 75 millimeters of hull armor in the front, 35 on the side, and 35 on the back. 75 millimeters of turret armor in the front, 50 in the side, 50 in the back. So this tank is nothing that special. It's a big rear because it's very big. The gun is pretty good. Not gonna lie, the gun is pretty good. I have like 8.5 seconds reload time, and it can do the 3 shells and 1 second between each shots, and it's very effective if you see a side of an enemy. But sniping with this tank, as you can see, I have 0.35 accuracy, but believe me, I tried sniping. Yeah, wow, it's horrible with this tank. It really is horrible. I just miss every shot. It's horrible. And if you hit the tracks, and yeah, you're thinking like, oh, that's great, awesome. And this tank is also an aiming time of 1.7. But yeah, let's go to the tier 8s, the tanks that really I really like. This tier 8, the STA-1. This tank is amazing. This tank has 1,450 hit points. That's a lot. That's a lot for a tier 8. I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot. Most of them don't even have that much hit points. Like, let's grab a Panther. Oh no, Panther has actually 1,500. Never mind. Like a Pershing or a T-44. The T-44 has 1,400 HP. No, 300 HP, and a Pershing has like 1,440. So yeah, this tank has a lot of hit points. No armor at all. No armor. They didn't. Japanese tanks, they don't use armor. Zero armor, no armor. 570 horsepower, 45 speed limit, and 44 reverse speed. So overall, this tank is pretty good. Power to weight ratio is like the specific power is, it's normal, not that great. The average damage per minute is almost 2,000, so that's pretty good. And gets this gun, and this gun is actually pretty amazing. 8 rounds per minute, 218 penetration, 240 damage, and an accuracy, Hellcat accuracy, and an aim time of 2.3. Sorry for that. So the real time is something like 6.3 if I'm correct, and that is very good. I'm not gonna lie, that's very good. A Pershing that pretty much has the same gun has a real time of 6.9. So yeah, I will be enjoying this tank on the live server. I will be going for this tank. This tank is really awesome. I had a lot of good games in this tank. But let's go to the tier 9. And I have a question. Why? Why? Just why and why? That is just crazy. What is that? That is just, come on. I don't get that. That is just weird. That is just weird. But yeah, this is the tier 9. It is the type 61. It has 1,700 hit points, an engine power of 604, speed limit of 47.6, traverse speed of 48, no armor, 55 in the front, 35 in the side, 25 in the back. Third armor has 17 in the front, 60 in the side, and 35 in the back. And yeah, Japanese tanks are not really known for their armor. They have absolutely no armor at all. The gun is actually very good. It's the same gun as the STB-1. It does 6 rounds per minute. It has an average penetration of 258, average damage of 390, accuracy 0.36, and aim time almost 2 minutes. 2 minutes, wow. No, 2 seconds. Nothing special this tank. This tank is pretty much as a pattern, M46 pattern. I think I will be playing this tank as an M46 pattern. It's gonna be mainly supports and mainly just the medium tank roles. Except I will have absolutely no armor, and that's the thing. But the tier 10 actually gets good armor. This tank gets very good armor. The STB-1, the tier 10, it gets 1,950 hit points. It weighs 37 tons. It has an engine power of 750, a speed limit of 53, and a reverse speed of 52. So this gun is pretty amazing. I'm really liking the gun. The tank is awesome. The specific power is very good. The average damage per minute is awesome. The gun is amazingly is the same gun as on the Type 61. It has actually hull armor, 110, and it's sloped, so that's good. 35 on the side and 25 on the back, so inside and the back nothing. 132 on the third armor, 132 on the side armor, 43rd, and 37 in the back. So you can bounce some shots, but most of the shots will just go through you, like it's nothing. And this tank also has 410 view range, so that's very good for this tank. It has a lot of view range, same as pattern 48. So the M48 pattern, if I'm correct. And yeah, that is very good view range. And personally, I'm really liking this tank. This tank is like pretty much every tank together, and it's a really awesome tank. I'm really loving this tank. This tank is, yeah, this tank is awesome. But let me show you guys the other two tanks we're gonna get, and it's the Object 430 version 2 and the Object 430, a new medium line, as you can see, and the tier 9, the Object 430 version 2, Has 1,700 hit points. It weighs 36 tons. It has an engine power of 580, a speed limit of 55, traverse speed of 48, hull armor. It gets 120 in the front, 80 in the side, 40 in the back. And it gets very good turret armor, 248 in the front, 185 in the side, and 63 in the back. And the thing with this tank is, this tank can only turn the turret 180 degrees. So it can only turn, it's not able to turn the turret completely around, so that's a weakness on this tank. If somebody tracks you here and goes around you, then you're pretty much fucked if you don't have a repair kit or you have no repair screw. And that will suck. I don't really like that about this medium tank because it's not able to turn his turret completely 360 degrees. That's what I really don't like about this tank. But overall, this tank is probably going to be a good brawler. It has no gun impression, but welcome to Russian tanks. And yeah, I don't think this tank is that much special. I actually dislike having turrets in the back. I don't know about you guys, but I really actually dislike it. I actually love when my turret is just in the middle. It's perfect when it's in the middle. So yeah, I don't think I will be grinding this line. The tier 10 is nothing special. The tier 9 is nothing special. But yeah, the tier 10 object 430. It gets 1,900 hit points. It weighs 35 tons. It gets an engine power of 580. Speed limit of 55. 52 traverse speed. That's a lot. 120 hull armor in the front, 80 in the side, and 40 in the back. 248 turret armor in the front, 185 in the side, and 63 in the back. This tank is nothing special. It gets the same gun as the T62A or the Object 140. The rate of fire is pretty good. It's the same rate of fire as on the other tier 10s that you have. This tank is pretty much another Object 140 or another T62A. It's nothing really that special. I'm not thrilled for this tank to see. I'm probably not even going to grind this line. I don't like having turrets in the back. That's gonna be a big problem for me when I'm actually gonna reach the VK. As you can see, that's gonna be a big problem. Not sure how I will be playing that tank, because I really want the mouse actually. And let me show you guys the last thing I wanted to show. You get a new map, Hidden Village, if I'm correct. There you go. It's a Japanese or Asian map, not really sure. This map, I played a couple of games on this map and I dislike it. It's, I don't know, it's nothing that special. It's just a map. You have the village on the left, or yeah, on the right, and then you have open space on the left. So yeah, people that like fighting in the city will go to the city, and people that like fighting in the open will go to the open. This map is nothing special. I actually personally dislike this map. It's not that good. From my experience that I had on this map were pretty terrible, and yeah, not sure how that's gonna be. So yeah, this is pretty much the 8.10 review. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please do like, subscribe, and comment. And tell me please in the comments, what do you think about this new 8.10 that will go live in a couple of weeks? What do you guys think about it? Because I'm looking forward to the Japanese tanks and the graphical changes like the motion blur. I'm really happy that I added that motion blur. It's really awesome. Color filter, I'm probably not going to use that, but maybe some people will use it. It has a nice aspect to it. It's pretty cool, but I'm not going to touch it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. But yeah guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.